Hello everybody, my name is Sarah Ernsberger. Yes, I am still in my work clothes. We're going to ignore that. Today we're going to be talking about the short story All the Sad Etc. and we are taking only what we need. So we've all read a couple of the books in a couple of the short stories in the overall book, but the one I got assigned is All the Sad Etc. So I'm just going to take you through the story so that maybe we could get a better understanding of what happens in the story. So at the beginning of the short story, it tells us that it's Christmas Day of 1998. Kim and Paula are going to the mental hospital to visit Douglas. Now, the reason that Douglas is in the mental hospital is because it says later on in the story that he has these voices in his head that tell him to do bad things. One example that it uses is that if he sees a woman, the voices in his head tell him to drop his pants. Now, that may seem a bit extreme, but that is that was put in the book for a reason, so that must have, I'm assuming, happened once or more than that, which is honestly crazy that that's something that people have to go through. So a big point of the story is that Kim, Paula, and Douglas are all non-active Jehovah's Witness. Now, one thing about Jehovah's Witness is they don't celebrate Christmas. And it constantly talks about how Kim wishes that they did celebrate Christmas. She wants to celebrate Christmas. She just wishes that she could be normal and celebrate Christmas. And Christmas is a very big theme in this story. So it talks about how when they get to the mental hospital, there's Christmas decorations hung up. This is pointed out several different times in the story, how there's Christmas decorations in the entrance, there's Christmas decorations in the main place where they meet Douglas, there's the 3 teddy bears with the Christmas tree. It's a very big point in the story. So when they get to the mental hospital, they go in and they're talking to the person at the front desk and they're asking to see Douglas, and the person at the front desk can't find a visitor named Douglas, or not visitor, a patient named Douglas. And he looks, and one thing that is one of the quotes from the book is that Kim thinks in her head, maybe he won't be here at all. Maybe this is all a mistake. This is really important to me because I feel like it shows that she hasn't accepted, sorry, my cat's in the background. Sky. Okay, anyways, she hasn't accepted the fact that Douglas is going through this and this is something that they're going to have to deal with. She could possibly be in denial at this point, but it just keeps hitting her throughout the story in different stages that this is real. So they find where Douglas is, they go into the elevator, and when she gets out of the elevator, it says that she starts crying without giving herself permission to. Her mom, Paula, gets very frustrated with her and says that she can either go outside or dry up those tears because they can't have Douglas seeing her like that. They proceed to go in to the, where Douglas is, the visiting area. And a really important thing to point out is they talk about how they're the only people visiting anyone there. There's no other visitors there, and that's really sad because it is Christmas Day, and the one people who are visiting are people who don't celebrate Christmas. I feel like that really brings out the point that a lot of people do get forgotten around the holidays, that are in nursing homes, mental hospitals. They don't have people that can come and check up on them, whether they don't have family or they have family that don't associate with them anymore. So once they meet Douglas, they're talking to him, and the first thing Kim says is, Merry Christmas, did you know it's Christmas? And Paula gets frustrated at this because she knows that they don't celebrate Christmas, so why would you even bring that up? Her mom quickly changes the topic by saying, oh, have you eaten? Do you enjoy the food? And he's like, yeah, the food's really, really good, and everything. Kim thinks this is a joke, and she starts laughing because how good can food be at a mental hospital is what Kim is thinking. She quickly realizes that Douglas isn't joking and proceeds to change the topic again by asking if he'll play ping pong. They find a dented up ping pong ball and they're trying to play, and she serves the ping pong ball, and Douglas is so slow with his reaction times because of his medication that he, by the time he like finishes the swing, the ball has already fallen to the ground. He misses it every single time. And she said if she would have seen somebody else see them swing like this, she probably would have laughed and it would be humorous. But because she cares about Douglas so much, it's heartbreaking for her to see. And I feel like that's once again another step into realizing that this is real. This is what they're having to go through. This is what they're having to adapt to and learn from and grow from so that Douglas can get better and get the help he needs. We continue on with the story, and another man comes into the story, and he's a patient, and she says that he seems completely fine, like he shouldn't be a patient at a mental hospital. And he leaves, and then he re-enters, and she can tell that there is something going on, and she realizes why he's at the mental hospital. And I feel like once again, this is another way of showing the accepting process. Like when she sees him, she's like, oh, everything's fine. And then she's like, something isn't fine, and we understand why. So it goes back to her talking about how she wishes she could just have a normal family, a normal Christmas. She wants to get married and have kids, and there be a Christmas meal and shoes on the ground and crumbs falling and a mess and happy chatter and everything. And it shows that like not everybody's Christmas is all fun and cheery. A lot of people don't have families, or they come from broken families, and it's really hard. And once again, like I said before, it's going through the accepting what's going on. So after all this, she mentions that they should go for a drive, and Douglas gets really excited because he hasn't been able to leave the mental hospital since he got checked in. Paula, however, Kim's mom, gets very frustrated because she knows that they can't take Douglas for a ride. That's not allowed. So they have to disappoint Douglas with that. After this, they decide that they need to go. It's time for them to leave. And when they tell Douglas that it's time for them to leave, they expect him to be upset or sad. But because of his medication, once again, he's slower reaction times, much calmer, doesn't have as many emotions. And he just says, okay, goodbye, and gets up and leaves. And this breaks Paula and Kim. And once again, Kim just starts crying, and that's where the story ends. So I hope that by going through step by step, like everything that happens in this story, maybe you'll get a better understanding of the connection with Christmas and the connection with the accepting process, so that you'll be able to fully process the story and how heartbreaking it is and how hard it is. So anyways, thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.